Recently, the USA accused the federal government of Nigeria and other countries of funding terrorism with the fund that was being released to them through the US aid. This is one of the reasons why the US have resolved to hunt or put an end to giving out US aid to some countries, including Nigeria and South Africa alike. Today, Senator Ali Ndume, is calling on the federal government to launch a critical and exhaustive investigation into that allegation made by US. Remember that the US claimed that through the US aid that was being released to Nigeria, Boko Haram and other terrorist organizations were being funded to maim and kill numerous citizens, innocent citizens of the country. Listen to what Ali Ndume has to say about the new revelation.
We spent $697 million of the taxpayers' dollars in Afghanistan, including $534,719,000 in change from USAID in Afghanistan. I don't know what we think we're going to change in Afghanistan. We lost 22,000, lost or wounded 22,500 Americans in Afghanistan over the course of our term there in the war, spending over $2 trillion. We're just going to keep on spending because somehow we think it's going to get better. And if you're wondering who's in charge of Afghanistan getting the money, and that money I just mentioned, the $697 million is on top of, and is in addition to the weekly to every 10-day shipments in cash of $40 to $80 million. Afghanistan is ruled by folks named Sarajuddin Haqqani. Haqqani network mean anything to anybody in the room? How about Abdullah bin Laden? Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe, that this money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door. USAID spent $840 million in the last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah.
Those are the words of the U.S. lawmaker, Scott Perry, and this was an inquisition into the activities of USAID, and there's been some kind of a clampdown or so on that organization, that aid organization, since President Donald Trump got back into office. Tonight, I'm being joined by a former chair of the Committee on the Army in the Senate, and senator representing Borno State, one of the states that is hard hit by Boko Haram and one senator that knows so much about the activities of this organization based on the impact on its communities and the communities within its senatorial district. Senator Ali Ndume is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, Senator, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
Senator, these are heavy allegations, perhaps not verifiable at the moment because they're not coming from sources from the American government directly or the agencies of American government, but these allegations coming from a United States congressman, a lawmaker in the United States. How worried are you about those information, especially because Boko Haram as an organization is being mentioned in all of this inquisition?
This development is, as you said, is very worrisome, especially because one of the organizations, the terrorist organization mentioned by Scott Perry, is Boko Haram. And Boko Haram has ravaged not only the northeast, but even Nigeria. You can remember Boko Haram bombed the police headquarters and the UN office in Abuja here. And the casualties is enormous. So Nigerian government must be interested, and I'm worried. But the Nigerian security agencies have raised this indirectly several times. And even the Borno state government was wary of the operations of the NGOs. And I remember during the period of Buratai, Nigerian Army got intelligence and even raided at one time the Office of United USAID or United Nations in Maiduguri. You remember that? And there was a time also the governor, got intelligence and raided into one NGO that were training or providing training to some of their staff on how to use guns. And we have been wondering for all these years, where are these people getting this money that they do, besides the raid and the kidnapping that they do? And it's worrisome. And now that the United States congressman came out, Scott Perry, to speak about this, you can't say it's just an allegation. It's more than that. And that's why Nigerian government and the National Assembly especially needs to look into it to verify, investigate and verify the veracity of such weighty, very weighty allegation. You remember what Boko Haram did. I wanted to give the public a remembrance of the figures that we lost. You know, Boko Haram killed several people, destroyed several properties, displaced many people, and then cut off the source of livelihood to most of our people. Statistically, they say it's about 50,000 people have lost their life, but I guess these are the figures that are accountable. But 2.5 million people or above have been displaced. Right now, we have up to 400,000 people from the Bay State, Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe displaced in Niger, Cameroon, and Chad, even now. And you know, more than 1 million children are out of school in the Northeast, especially the Bay State. The Bay State is Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe. And you remember the case of the Chibok girls, 276 of them were abducted. And up to now, we did not find all of them. We find most of them, actually. And when you look at the figures, it's worrisome. Scott Perry said, at one time, they're spending $697 million, and that translates into over 1 trillion naira. And when you see the operations, the modus operandi of this Boko Haram, you're going to think they must be getting their supplies.
And you suspect that this could also be funds from USAID, but you cannot say authoritatively if
No, that is what Scott is doing now, and his subcommittee on DOGED, that is Department of Government Efficiency. They started the inaugural hearing was on Thursday, that is the day before yesterday. What I'm saying is the Nigerian government should be interested.
How do you think the Nigerian government should tackle this or handle this?
Well, first thing is I'm planning to bring a motion on Tuesday, if allowed, a matter of urgent national importance, to set up a strong committee so that our security agencies like the office of the NSA, the DIA, the DSS will be involved, because that's part of their responsibility. It's not only internal security. And since the government now is the one investigating the US aid, I'm sure they will cooperate, or they will even be, I think, extend their investigation to find out from here where the action is as to the veracity of such weighty allegations.
Senator, and this comes so as though there are some kind of distrust in the good intention some of these organizations. I mean, aid funding from USAID and different international funding agency or organization have come to help vulnerable communities, people who are in need of help, scholarships and all whatnot across the globe. But when these kind of allegations come, there are those who will say maybe somehow some governments have used this as espionage on other governments or other countries of the world to advance the interests of their own country. Do you worry that this may also have a link or be some kind of espionage?
Well, as I said, it is only through investigation, thorough investigation, that you get to this level. But all I'm saying is that the security and welfare of Nigerian citizens is the responsibility of the government. It is not responsibility of any other government or any other country. So this issue of relying on aids from other countries is not even good for us, because Nigeria by now is supposed to be the one that is giving out aids, not the one receiving aids. So why don't we, I think this is like a wake-up call for all of us to stand up the government. We have everything. We have everything. The only problem is in the leadership. And I think we need to fix that one so that we'll tap into what we have and be contented with it. I remember that in those days, the foreigners are coming here to even teach in secondary school and even primary schools as expatriates. But now Nigerians are struggling to go outside the country and to be slaves, so to say. That is doing some dirty jobs in order to survive. And you see, even Nigerians are struggling to be what they are not. What I mean by that is that most of the Nigerians that you have that are opportune, or they call themselves elites, are not truly even Nigerians, because they are half Nigerians, like you.
I'm full blood
No.
Nigerian.
You have 2 passports.
No, I don't. I have one.
No.
A green. I have green passport.
You are a resident in America. I know that.
You have diplomatic
I can see you are shocked, you know.
No.
Many of you guys are like that.
No.
You hold 2 passports. Many government officers hold 2 passports.
Do you have a diplomatic passport?
I have a diplomatic passport, but I don't have any passport. I don't have any visa in it. I can ask this thing to bring it now. I don't have visa to anywhere. I'm a true full Nigerian, and that is how everybody is supposed to be. Let's make Nigeria work.
Senator,
so we don't need any aid.
And I agree, because I said this on this program yesterday, that Nigeria needs to be respected.
Several other prominent Nigerians has called on the Nigerian government to launch a critical investigation into the allegation being leveled against them by the United States. We hope and pray that they take heed and make proactive move towards ensuring that further investigation is being made to curb such further occurrence. By these allegations, the APC have questions to answer, because according to the allegations, recall that before Jonathan left up, after Jonathan was forced out of office, he laid some claims against Barack Obama, and his activity during his election that led to his ouster. He also claimed that terrorism, acts of terrorism that were perpetrated under his administration, there were signals from the US, more especially when it comes to the regards to the issue of the Chibok gas. Lots of issues surrounding these allegations. So we need critical explanation from the federal government, and we are hoping that they respond to it promptly.